All right, y'all. Let's get into this. Real Housewives of Potomac final reunion. Gordan decides he gonna open up and let us know that he has been bipolar. Mia decides to cry, making things about her. Candace and Wendy give a subtle comfort to Mia. I, for one, do not care anything about his situation. Thank you for sharing, but no one cares. At least I do not. It's so harsh. I don't know if he was saying the things, saying that he had it to be, I guess, to have whatever he's done to Mia. I don't know if he was admitting to his mental health to get sympathy from us, as you know, Mia tells us, oh, he's been locking me out of my account, whatever, locking me in a room, all of this other stuff. Or if he just saying this for a storyline, and then he over there talking about some, I locked the room. I knew I took the phone, but locked the room. And because Mia lies so much, I'm like, Gordan, baby, it's because it never happened. That's why you
That's what
don't
I was
remember.
thinking.
It's because it never can happen, Gordan. So I'm just over the Thorntons, and I thought that I thought they would be enough to tune in next season. I don't even know if they enough for me. I don't
Mm-mm.
know. I'll revisit when the time comes, but I'm just like,
Because
I
Gordon can't
can't.
even remember his script. He can't remember his script. Whenever he said the close lock the clocked her in the door, he was like, well, when the fuck did we discuss that? Like, hold on, when did we say we was gonna say that? That's a little bit too far. Um, I think Gordon might not be lying about his mental illness, but I feel like he is his dignity is completely gone behind Mia. And I think he's trying to
Mhm.
rationalize, like, why is she leaving me, but how can I still have a piece of her? And I think that this ties it in a pretty bow for him by saying that you have mental illness, you still have access to Mia in some way, you think she might come back around. I feel like he thinks she gonna come back around. um but yeah, I think he's just trying to rationalize everything. I think it was convenient for him to bring that up.
I
I
don't.
think he's trying to make sure he get his allowance.
That's what I was thinking as well. Like, y'all lie and do a united front so everybody can make sure they get some money. Y'all are smarter than Robyn and Juan.
Mm.
I don't care about Mia and Gordan, to be honest, and I don't care because they lie so much that I'm no longer interested. Also, Mia is not genuine. Mia flip flops all over the place depending on how she feels in a moment, what's advantageous to her. So because of that, I don't
Hmm.
really care. Like, I don't respond to people who aren't genuine so loudly on reality shows. Like, when you're mad, when you feel a way, I need to believe that that's how you feel. And when I tell you, I don't ever believe any emotion that Mia projects on this show. I don't ever believe it. So I just don't care.
Mm. Well, there's that. Ashley, not understanding what Osu was, don't know how to don't know how to explain it or do anything about it, but felt the need to be the producer's pet and bring it to the front. Let me tell y'all, if Wendy did not clock in at any moment, she clocked in at the best time, because so many times do we watch these reunion shows, and when it's time for a person to answer a question and be held accountable, somebody always chimes in. And I loved how when Aneka tried to save Ashley, no.
Mm-mm.
Ashley, you brought it to the forefront. You explain it. You do it. I absolutely love that. And the gag that a lot of people didn't catch was the fact that Aneka shut the hell up. It wasn't even
Yes.
so much as just Ashley having to, get her tongue from being tied. It was Aneka having to shut the hell up and actually respecting what Wendy said. Like, baby, that was
And
interesting.
didn't even jump in.
Mm. At
But
that
Didn't
why, when
moment,
Ashley said she had a horrible reunion, did we not see it? Because I didn't really see that.
that
me
is
neither.
true.
I feel like they probably cut some shit out. But I'm gonna tell you this. I think that Ashley plotted this season, and Gizelle and Robyn were just the helpmates, right? I
Hmm.
think
Mhm.
every season they meet up beforehand to decide
Hmm.
who they're going to go after in order to keep the shit off of them, basically. And I
Mhm.
think that Ashley was pissed off with Candace for the way she talked about Michael. So I think she set out to put Candace in the same situation so that Candace would see how it felt. Remember when she said that shit to her last season
Mhm.
about Chris? But it was all lies. Then Mia jumped in on the bandwagon. He was looking at me. It all seems like something everybody knew was going on and was deciding to jump on the bandwagon. Fast forward to this season, I think she set up the fight with Deborah. I think she told Deborah to show up. I think that she knew it was going to happen. I think Gizelle knew.
Wow, you think she did that?
Yep. I think Gizelle knew that the fight was going to happen. That's why she left early. But
Oh,
they
to
can. Somebody
this
said
to victimize, villainize Candace.
yes.
Yeah.
To put her
And
in
it was a
another
perfect
situation.
excuse for Gizelle to leave because her dad was in the hospital.
And for Ashley to then turn around and say, see, if it happens again, it can't not be you, babe. You're the common denominator. Like she already had rehearsed what she wanted to say in order to malign Candace. The only
Wow.
problem she did not think about was Kiana getting involved.
Jumping in. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
You
That's
know
right.
what? I never thought about that. That makes so much sense.
It sure does. It absolutely does. I do not
Huh.
trust that Ashley Darby. She always gets away. She always escapes. And I'm about sick of it. And her ass too.
Oh,
What else ended up happening?
and I wanted to
ahead.
say, Robyn, at the beginning, because I think on some level, if Robyn were left to her own devices, she wouldn't be like this, right? She wouldn't do all of this extra shit to plot against people. But because she's friends with Gizelle, she just goes along with the shit. She don't really fuck with Ashley like that. She just pretends to. But this is what happened. Remember when they went on that trip and Robyn was mad at Wendy? Candace got there late and they sat down on the sofa and talked. And it seemed like Robyn was trying to get Candace to be on her side against Wendy. And Candace was like, I'm not about
What
to
was
really
it?
do that.
When was this? What was this
That was
last season?
That was last season. That was right before she decided to bring out the speaker and put it on the table and all of that.
I recall. Oh, yes. Okay. This is when they were in Miami.
Yes.
When they were in Miami. And okay. Yep. I
So
remember
I
this.
think that's the moment when Robyn decided to flip and become a part of the we gonna take Chris down because she was mad at Candace for not taking her side against Wendy.
Right.
So yeah.
I can see that. And I want to say this other thing about Ashley. Wendy, remember that time when Wendy had approached Ashley and said something like, "Oh, I never want to question our friendship or whatever." Like they became friends. You really played yourself, Wendy, because she definitely got you back. Technically, Ashley was always planning on getting your ass after you checked her the very first time, that very first night, and you said it's Dr. Wendy to you. It was always Ashley's plan to be on some get back, in my opinion. And this was definitely it. She definitely got yours. And as we speak on Ashley, hold on, let me get to this super chat real quick. Thank you so much, Lady Lisa, for the super chat. Wendy shut Ashley down the same way she got Robyn and Gizelle together when they tried to come for Eddie. Period. Thank you for the super chat.
Oh,
The
yeah.
reason why Robyn
She
got
be ready.
so mad at Wendy because Wendy ate her ass up. And she was mad about wine. That's another thing everybody forgetting about. If you're really paying attention to the timeline of how Robyn was hiding shit with wine, I believe all of the shit with wine was going on probably around that season. She was depressed. She didn't want to get out the bed. And that specific episode, she had been drinking a lot. And I think she had patted her puss that episode. Her, remember? Because it was like her and Evelyn was patting puss. Remember she was... You know what I'm saying? Like it was something like that when she was like drunk or something, like she patted her puss.
I remember that.
So I was like, I feel like Robyn was really like projecting her shit on Wendy, mad because Eddie really ain't the cheater. Wine is.
Yeah, she always projecting.
Hold on. Thank y'all for the super chat, Miss Noel. Y'all clock how Mia been stealing other Housewives storylines and repurposing it from the dead business partner Robyn to the mental health and narcissistic storyline Drew Sidora. Thank you for the super chat. Somebody getting in her ear telling her what the hell to do.
She got a consultant. She got a Housewives consultant.
Gotta be. Gizelle blaming everybody for the fight but her business partner, and Ashley only offering an apology to Kiana versus offering an apology to Candace when you said that your friend, you never knew her to have intentions to come there on that level with Candace. She told you she just wanted to have a conversation with her. real smooth, whatever. So based on your understanding, so you say, of how you thought the conversation was going to go, seeing that it went left, you didn't offer an apology to her, was messed up. And I'm glad that Kiana called Ashley out for being the what is it, aftermath of apologies,
Mm-hmm.
because she is,
She,
because you
because she's
waited
not.
how many months? You waited all the way to the reunion to reach out to that girl since the fight happened. We had that footage, what, back in September? It's been months and you ain't reach out, apologize, do nothing. Do you wait till you it's on the reunion? Over Ashley, over
That was
Gizelle.
the first time that I looked at Ashley and saw nothing on her forehead at all. She said, you know that. Well, I never insinuated. And one of the things that threw me was, did y'all notice Karen was nodding her head as Ashley was talking, as though she was like, maybe it was just me, but I watched the reunion twice, and maybe it was editing. But when Ashley was responding to Wendy, Karen sat there and kind of nodded her head, like to encourage. You know, whenever you talking and what you're saying is bullshit, and people will look at you kind of like, I hear you, I'm listening. Karen was trying to give her that I hear you, I'm listening type thing. And I was like, hold on, Karen, what? Let her get eaten alive.
It might have been that, or Karen was trying to like look interested because she was trying not to fall asleep. Because there was some
I was
moment
thinking,
where it felt like Karen would just pop up and say something just
just
and you know
yes,
what?
yes.
And I feel like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I
Uh-huh.
think you ladies have no issue doing that, will we?
Yeah. I think that's definitely what the
So
case was
once
with
the
Miss
reunion was
Karen.
over,
Trying to
I was
stay
sitting there
woke.
thinking, how you doing, Auntie Karen? Because this, like, she came off so chill the whole season, chill the whole reunion, and then boom, we get this DUI. So I'm like, what was going on? How you doing, Auntie?
Child. I've read one of them comments. How y'all critique the way somebody chew carrots? Y'all so weird.
Who chewing carrots?
Me, I was chewing carrots. It's like you chewing real aggressive. I'm like, how the fuck else am I supposed to chew on carrots? Like, bitch, it ain't bread. Like, fuck.
So I have some video real
Y'all
quick that I would like to check out. And I think we'll start with this one first. I'm trying to see, just to get your thoughts on whether you agree with what's being said here. So let's go ahead and get into that. Actually, we'll do this one first.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And this the part where I said to myself, who is the real Gizelle Bryant? Will the real Gizelle Bryant stand up? Because I can't for the life of me understand why you can't have a human moment and say, I wasn't there to comment, to blame Wendy. And then when they said, well, Wendy wasn't around, well, Candace, it was like, y'all have weaponized Candace as being a spoiled brat because she comes from money. When at the end of the day, all of you mothers on that stage are raising a Candace. All of you mothers on that stage are raising your children to grow with generational wealth. All of you women on that show are raising your children to not have to ask for a man to get a house. All of you women on that couch are raising your children to never depend on a man for money and to never depend on people to do things for them. So the fact that you weaponize,
Not
you
tears. Not
weaponize
tears.
teaching your children not to do, and you set that girl up to feel so disregarded, makes me so upset for her, to the point she now has to figure out life for herself.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Fuck all that. I had to laugh. I don't give a damn.
No.
Listen, it's Heavenly's facials for me trying to see through the bullshit that has me.
Like, Heavenly, be fucking for real. I know she wanted to
Like,
laugh.
it's giving a little bit of Phaedra when Phaedra said to what's that, Apollo, did I baby? It's giving, did it get to you like that, baby? M.
Listen,
Barry Sing.
I
What do you
told
guys?
y'all I asked her because I was on her Patreon yesterday, and I asked her, I was like, "So you thought them tears was real?" And I think that Carlos has been doing this for a long time, and he really cares about. I was like, "Oh yeah, the way he over there treating his own people. You think he care? You think he getting wrapped up? It's hard. It's so hard." She just started, explaining away about how hard it is for him as a producer and all of this shit. And I'm just kind of like, girl, I know that's your friend. It's okay, but I don't believe none of them tears. I know he be like trying to look relaxed, but I also be feeling like, Carlos, why you always low key trying to give us like sex? Your titties was out at the Love and Marriage DC reunion show. Like, I was like, why are his titties out? And then sitting here right now, this nigga in his silk pajamas, red light special vibe. I'm like, what's going on? Like, Carlos, do you have dick or are we shopping for dick? Which one is it? Either way, I don't believe any of that shit he has going on. And I feel like it's so cap. I think he gets online and says whatever he thinks will garner the most attraction to him. Because essentially, if you really did feel like that, why is there such a history of you mistreating the women that you produce?
I think my only thing is I haven't seen him going up for her any other time until the masses started, and then now I see it. And
Nope.
I like you also am concerned because sometimes the things that he says, I see them already on Twitter. So it's like, did you say this or did you already take this from what they said? Because it's literally verbatim what I've already seen. But that's just me.
Yeah, I do think that is whenever Carlos cries, I feel like it's usually always attached to whatever he's seen women in his life go through. So it's not like tears for the actual woman that he's talking about. He always circles it back around and talks about the women in his life. So I think he was probably triggered by that.
Probably so.
He
You
was
probably
triggered
right,
by that,
Lucy.
which is why his voice was shaking for whatever reason. I agree with what he said,
That's a
but
good point.
just like Jami said, I do think it's interesting that as soon as everybody starts talking about Gizelle, you want to misalign yourself with her. I'm gonna let you play the other video. I think the time of those two videos coming out at the same time, it is interesting.
Yes,
because he loves all the girls, even Gizelle.
Hilarious. Let's get into Gizelle just a little bit because Monique did have a sit down with someone and she kind of talked about a little bit of her time on Potomac.
For everybody, including myself. And listen, I was ready to unleash and unload, and they didn't show half of what was done. To this day, I still recall certain things that happened that weren't shown. Like there was this one point where after the binder, the biggest memory that I have and the thing that I hate that they didn't show with Gizelle, she was so upset and she was so quiet after lunch, like had nothing to say. When Chris came out and pretty much read her, she lost it and she just blurted out, F you! She like lost it and they never showed it, but she lost it. And I was like, that pretty much summed up, why I left, because they were constantly protecting the people who should have been exposed and show who they really are on and off camera. And they kept these protections for people to the extent of not even protecting, my innocent children and those whole narratives that they were trying to point out. And it just got me to a point where I was just like, you know what? I don't have to deal with this. This is too much. And I decided to walk away.
Why do you think that pick and choose protection, if that's what it was there in the first place?
Well, if you're a puppet master, you're going to keep your puppets. So the ones that you can control, the ones that you can get to do what you want them to do, you're going to keep those people. But the ones who speak up like me and say, no, that's not me. I'm not doing that. I'm not saying that. We're the ones that get the hardest time because we're not doing what they want us to do. We're not creating the show that they want. We're still trying to maintain a sense of who we are. In there for everybody, including myself. And
all right, so y'all just heard what Miss Monique said, and it turned out to be very much so true. They definitely be over there doing a bit of protecting, and you can kind of hear it from this previous reunion, the way they were chopping things up. People would be talking in a normal voice, and then next thing you know, Gizelle's voice to be raised a little bit. And I'm like, okay, so what is she really talking about? I'm done with it. I'm like, that's not even a tone of what was happening. Same thing with Candace. So they definitely was chopping up a lot of SHI and they were protecting their people. Just like I feel like Ashley is the producer's pet and we didn't even see her have a terrible reunion as well. So it seemed like it ain't just, it's given that they really protecting Ashley and Gizelle
Yeah.
and not just Gizelle alone.
And they were protecting Robyn up until Robyn played in their face and gave them her ass
Hell
to kiss
yeah.
repeatedly.
I said she was on a PIP. She was on a performance improvement plan because they let her know she was gonna be gone for a season. She had the longest, like, even though I big up Robyn for getting her businesses together, she only got them together because she knew her time was coming. They gave her the type of notice that they would never give a Candace or a Wendy. Candace and Wendy would be gone the season they didn't give. Robyn had elongated, hey, get your stuff together. We're gonna allow you to stay here storyline free for a season or 2 or 3 or 4, and then after that you have to go. One of the things I wanted to call out was they never showed, I don't know if they showed it on the Peacock extended version, but they never showed whenever Wendy has spoken to NECA in their language. You remember they showed that in the previews?
Yes.
They showed it in the previews, but they didn't
They
show
did.
it at the actual reunion.
I'm so tired of them
I'm
doing that
glad
shit.
you brought that up. Yep.
Let me tell you something. Bravo. I know somebody gonna watch us and listen and then act like they didn't. So take this advice. Put a mosh posh together of all of this shit that y'all kept out and put it on Peacock as an extra episode. Y'all will make the money and we will fucking watch it and review it. Like, but y'all need to rectify the situation. And I feel like the best way to rectify the situation is to put out a what you missed or what we cut out editing room floor footage from this reunion show or that reunion. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like
they
there's
do a extended cut, but they still don't show everything on Peacock.
I
And
watched
based
the
on the
extended cut. They didn't
comments,
show that.
you watched the extended cut?
Yeah, they
Oh,
didn't
well,
do that because
yeah.
I watch it on it because I like to hear people curse.
Mhm.
So I watched the extended one on Peacock so I can hear people curse because I want to hear how you curse. Like, and
Right.
hearing them say fucking stuff be hilarious to me when they always like bleep it out. So like hearing Gizelle actually cuss was hilarious to me. But I feel like Gizelle was very much pissed off this reunion show. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but she did a lot of what Nene would do when she didn't want to be held accountable, yelling and talking over people so that they can't be heard. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that was
think she
definitely
also
the
just didn't
energy.
want to be sad. Like, it was weird to me that even whenever they asked her about her daddy, she still was able to turn up on Candace.
Candace, yeah, talking about even when it's not about her. It was like, and that would have me being like, girl, you fuck you and your daddy. How about that? Yeah. Bondi Blue said
That's
it.
the energy.
Jamie did not say it. They didn't say it. I said it.
No, I shrugged because if that's how somebody would feel, it's like, I mean, I wouldn't say it, but I understand. I absolutely understand.
I understand. Yeah, for sure. I
Listen,
absolutely.
I have a dead daddy, so miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with the bullshit. I buried my paw at 19. So and it had to go in and take finals the next fucking day. So I don't want to hear nothing about none of that. At the end of the day, I think she used her dad repeatedly in a reunion show. And I don't like that shit. It's the same thing as Karen using her parents for that damn DUI she got.
I feel like she tried not. Gizelle didn't give us anything with her dad, in my opinion.
No,
Nothing.
but she used him as an excuse for why you didn't call oh girl. Oh, because of what was going on with my dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think she still was like using him in some way in order to like escape accountability because I was going through this with my dad. Girl. And then another thing, why did she get to stay on the show and never show us any of this shit? We had to hear about it from Robyn in a confessional because she didn't want to talk about it. Why is she on a reality show? I don't get it. Do something else.
We don't get into the last season that you going through something traumatic in your life. All we get is my daughter's going to college.
And we don't even care about that.
That's
and
it.
honestly, she makes me dislike her daughter. I hate
And I'm
that.
dating somebody that could be dating my daughter.
Dating or in a contractual agreement?
But closer in age dating. Contractual agreement is what it was given. Because now all of a sudden you don't care what he doing. She's annoying.
Never say
Annoying for
real.
sure.
And that's the thing. Like as a single housewife, you have all of these relationships, and we don't get to see any of it, so that you can just pretend to be high and mighty. Like, what is the point of that? Like, she's dating. Please know that bitch is dating, because she's one of them women that only find validation in how a man sees them. So even if y'all don't see the men, oh, trust me, that coach is out there.
She kind of pretty much
I
said
feel like
that.
it can't be.
Or
She
at
too
least
bitter.
was trying to put her tea out there.
She might be bitter, but I also think it's because she doesn't get far in her relationships.
Mm.
She gets
I
them
don't
in
think she
with her
wants
look.
to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
think because she doesn't want to have to actually be vulnerable and connect. She probably good with just getting a little dick and a dinner and sending them niggas on their way, which I'm not mad
Yeah.
at, to be honest. As a woman of her age and after everything she's been through, I don't think she should be trying to get married. I think it should be just like a fun. But I also feel like we should be able to see that if you're going to be on a reality show, and we would want to see it. Like, make this interesting for us.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is that enough on the reunion?
Oh, wait. Let me think before we go. We said Ashley and Ashley and Michael. Girl, you meant you were still rubbing those feet.
I was thinking that
I
too.
agree. She definitely is. And I don't believe she dated no damn body. I think them was all lies. Cap.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think she's still rubbing Michael's feet and holding cum in her mouth so that she can secure her bag, because she feels like she can't do it on her own. And that's so sad to me, because at this point, I think Ashley has solidified herself as a quintessential housewife, right? We may not always like her, but she's messy. She can spread it around. She can give it to whoever needs to get it. And she's not afraid to not take herself so seriously. So I feel like essentially, if Ashley didn't have that, I need to fill my dad void with old Michael Dick. Like, if she didn't have that thing going on, I think she would be a great housewife that could stay on this show until it's over. But
yeah,
I think she accidentally slipped up and said she still rubbed his feet the same way she still said Deborah was her friend.
Yes, a great comparison, because she did. Definitely giving slip up. I mean, what's my friend? That's your friend.
Somebody
Just
said
like don't feet be in your mouth. Say what?
A good lesson. Okay, a good lesson. Did you hear her say? He told her, don't work. Don't follow, whatever aspirations you had. Because how we gonna go around the world if you gotta work? And then what ends up happening?
She worked for him. That's what I was confused about.
She said she wanted to be a journalist.
She was.
So she might have been working for him just as a job and still had her aspirations to do other things. But he came in and was like, "No, don't worry about none of that. Let me just take care of you." And she just
be lying, bro.
She do,
because season 1 she was talking about how she was eyeing the hell out of him.
They met
she
at
was
work,
working
right?
for him. Yeah,
she
was eyeing him, and she was and she was determined to get with him. Now all of a sudden he's telling you
was an intern somewhere.
She said she was an intern after, but at the beginning she was a waitress, and then later it turned into she was an intern. And then I feel like at some point everybody was like, Sheila sent her ass up there to get that man.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? Like, go get our check, young girl. And honestly, when you think about it, that's probably exactly what happened, because Ashley was a pageant child and she was poor. When I think about poor pageant children, a lot of times their parents are pushing them into that as a way of getting them into entertainment or getting them into something that they can make a lot of money at a young age. Quiet on set. Exactly. And that's how when you think about it, that's how she ended up meeting Candace through the pageant circuit. And then having that like fake friendship / hate thing with Ashley that transitions to being on the show. Like, when you think about it, that shit is very kind of like, I guess, status quo, so to speak. Like, Ashley fits a very specific type of stereotype when you think about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I guess that Bria stereotype.
Yes, and it's crazy that you say that, because that's exactly how that would happen. Like, you would be in the vicinity of a Candace so that you could pick up on her
Mhm.
mannerisms, how she talks, how she, showcases herself so that you can appear to be on the same level with her.
Mhm.
So yes.
That's exactly it.